But there's no need to be rude about these things. I often compare making music to building a fire, a furnace. You can go to Tesco's and get yourself some kindling and some wood that's come out of a machine, or indeed you can knock down your own tree and make your own logs. We knocked down the tree for good reason. It was going to fall into a neighbour's house. You can then hone your own kindling, create your own logs, dry it, and make a fire all of your very own. So when it comes to creating a new environment to inspire not only the way you make music but the way you compose it, well, there's nothing more perfect than this bit of firewood. The Soma Terra, or as I like to call it, tree trunk synth. Lots of lovely golden globules, stiff knobs, and a pyramid of LEDs that would defy Stephen Hawking. You may recall that my favourite synth is the Lyra, made by the same company. This is a new-ish thing from them, so my expectations are high. It's not mine, it's my wife's, but I suspect I may need to steal it. When you buy environments that change the way in which you don't just make music but you compose, it is necessary for them to be purposefully non-intuitive, and that is no exception here. If you want to understand truly what's going on with this thing, you'll need to keep the manual laminated and close. However, what I do enjoy is working in environments that are unfamiliar. Was it John Lennon that said, if you've got writer's block, pick up an instrument you can't play? So I've kind of figured it out. There'll be some stuff that I simply don't understand. Basically got a performance area. This is kind of the instrument, and these are the settings. You've got a full 12-note scale. Which can be decided by using these tuning buttons. That's the coarse tune, that's the fine tune. It's very interesting, if you press them very softly, and then press harder, doesn't make a difference. But if you use more skin, in this case it sounds like it opens up a filter a little bit. It's quite interesting if you go. These notes are not organised in a simple chromatic way. It's a scale that suits you bumping into notes by mistake. Now, the reason why these are in the performance area is because you can shift octave values whilst you're playing. These can also be grouped, and in a lot of the patches that come shipped with this, they're grouped in 3 groups, and they're basically legato, monophonic within that group, as I'll show you in a minute. So this is a hold button. Now on this side, left-hand side, we've got stuff that does stuff, a little bit like our macros and volts. They're combinations of effects and stuff. Now, this particular patch sounds quite kind of analog and plain, but they make a surprisingly large amount of use out of things like valve filters, ring mod, and FM as well. And again, you can hold these too. That's an example of I don't like that note, so... We've got just 2 TR jacks on the side, a really flimsy power adapter, we've also got headphone outs, and then we've got MIDI in and out here, and also a USB. It looks like something that you use to save presets down with so that you can exchange them between Terras. We've also got a very shonkily homemade 5-pin DIN MIDI to voltage control. That's interesting. It kind of implies that it would encourage you to use it with a modular rig, which maybe I'll have a go at some point soon. And it also comes with these, and because I haven't read the manual, I haven't a clue what you do with them. It's not like a teenage engineering thing. That doesn't seem to do anything. So I'm sure you're going to jump on comments down below to go, no, you use them for this. Right, the top bit, this tells you that it's on. Other than that, it offers no other function. The decay, these are kind of envelopes, but just decays. And then these are the decays of the macros. Then these are 2 assignable controls. One has got a wiggly line, one looks like a sunshine, but these change depending on the different patches that you use. Everything feels top notch. And then we've got 2 effects. So this is time, and this is amount. But also if you press this, which point this becomes time and this becomes feedback. Right, the difficult bit. This pyramid of lights serves many purposes. They're pretty complicated, and this is why you need to keep the manual close to you if you actually want to know what you're doing. So if we have a listen here. So that does stuff depending on what's been programmed into them. To load a sound, you've got these 6 banks, and then basically it's A, B, C, D through these 12. So it's 16 sounds per bank. So if we go like that. You can also, once you've monkeyed around, say, for example, with the tuning and all of that kind of stuff, you can save them to the location, which is just the reverse of what I did there. So find your bank you want and then hit your, I don't want to save anything because it's not mine, it's my wife's. And then you've got basically synth engines. And these are like, they're almost like templates for different setups. And then the weirdest thing is this. Don't know what these do, but basically, it's got a gyroscope in it. Because it's a gyroscope, it'll always right itself. So you don't have to get out the spirit level when you're playing it, but it's an interesting... And these, I believe, are different... disables it. Hang on. I've got an idea. I think I know what this is for. But here's where the versatility really comes in. think the LFO speed has been assigned to this knob here. Right, you're going to like the next one. For me, other than it sounding great and it being beautifully curated, the thing that I find most interesting as a keyboard player is simply organise your notes in a way that is unexpected. So it's being able to organise things in a way that's unusual, but being able to play them as a keyboard player like you're strumming, about opening doors, inspiration, new parts of you. You always move where your music aesthetic takes you, but I think there's some really interesting ideas here. I'd very much like to see how it works with MIDI, because I think with some guitar samples could be also very, very interesting. Right, so what I've done is I've made my selection of logs. Now it's time to build the fire. I tried some of those arpeggiated bits, but they just sounded a bit kind of majory for what I had in mind, basically because I made this. So what I've done is I've chopped up the bass notes into different dynamic layers. But I've also, it had a lovely thing where it went whoom as you let go of it, so I've created some release triggers as well. So I can be conscious of where I lift my fingers when I play that in. I've also taken that kick and made a kit. Whoopsie daisy. And I think when I add just a little soupçon of distortion, it sounds a little something His Majesty's pleasure. Right, but there's no need to be rude about these things. And then let's have a listen to it on the old bass as well. Don't want it quite that rude, because I wanted to do something that is a bit stringy as an interesting combination. I kept the tape running basically throughout the walkthrough of the Terra synth. For me, it's just, I don't know if you've listened to any kind of Aphex Twin and stuff. Sometimes it's just one sound. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it on these notes here and here, and then delay. And then also a bit of splosh. Let's see what that delay works like. Little, maybe kind of a go-go part on the hi-hatty sound. Now, I'm fancying some strings. Got this amazing new string library called Murmurations. Okay, let's build this into a track. So if you fancy downloading the logs, they're down in the hub linked below, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Soma in the comments. Wonderful to have people in our space creating stuff that's so inspiring to use. We're a small company, as I've mentioned before. We rely on subscriptions on this YouTube channel. So if you can do that, it would be much appreciated, and help yourself to the logs, as I said before. One of those, always much appreciated, and see you very soon.